Good evening, and thank you so much again for joining us. My name is Kimberly Sims, and I'm the Public Information Manager for the 35Express project. I've got quite a few folks with me here today to help us get through the presentation. I have Chris Swingy with AGL Constructors. He is one of our project managers. I have Varuna Singh with the Texas Department of Public Transportation. The Texas Department of Transportation. He's the project manager for the project on the TxDOT side. Donna Huerta with the Public Information Department. Cynthia Northrop White, who is with Government Relations. I also have Alex Southern, who works with me on the public involvement side. And then we've got one more person outside. He'll be in just a minute, but his name is Kevin Graff, and he works on the design side of the project. So I'll give you an overview of the project, tell you a little bit about our outreach and communications plan, and then take any questions that you may have. If you have any questions, if you want to line up to the mic, we are videotaping tonight so that we can watch this again on public television. So make sure you step up to the mic if you have a question when we get to the end. You can also follow us along. We are live tweeting tonight at 35Express, and then you can use the hashtag 35ExpressChat. If you're shy and you want to submit a question that way, please feel free to do that as well, and we'll get it answered for you. 35Express project is a design-build project, which means that the construction and design team work hand in hand. Usually with these projects, they take half the time, and when you have half the time, that means you have less money that goes into constructing the project. Construction is being managed by AGL Constructors, which is a joint venture between Archer Western Granite and Lane Construction Company. We are also joined by our design partners, Parsons and HDR Incorporated. Well, we all know that we are growing tremendously in this area, and our transportation infrastructure has to be upgraded to accommodate this growth. So the main purpose behind the 35Express project is to expand capacity, increase mobility, and also give us another way to fund improvements to our transportation system. We can't do this alone. We run through 2 counties and 8 cities, and we're working very tightly with them. We also work with the Federal Highway Administration, the U.S. Corps of Engineers, and the North Central Texas Council of Governments. Now, this project is about 30 miles long. If you've seen me do this before, we've increased another couple of miles because we've got some additional things to build, which is going to be on this end of the project. We'll be building general purpose lanes, frontage road lanes, and of course, the reversible managed lanes. Now, I know that you hear a lot about Phase 1 and Phase 2 construction. Phase 1 and Phase 2 are the same project limits, which means we're going to be building between 635 and US 380 down in Denton. However, Phase 2 is going to be built after Phase 1, and that means after funds have been identified. AGL Constructors has been contracted by TxDOT to construct Phase 1. If we were able to construct what we needed to do with I-35, it would cost us about $4.8 billion. We've only identified $1.4 billion of that cost, so we're doing those improvements in Phase 1 of the project. We should be beginning construction in the next few weeks and should wrap up about mid-2017. What are managed lanes? Managed lanes are just basically toll lanes. They're going to be similar to your HOV lanes. With the managed lanes, you can have a 1-passenger car versus with the HOV lanes, you have to have 2 or more people in the car. When you're riding in the lanes during peak hours, it's less expensive to ride. They are reversible, so it means they go one way in the morning and another way in the afternoon. We will have 11 different access points for people to get in and out. There's also shoulders for those who may experience car trouble while in the managed lanes. And then we also have perches along the way for law enforcement to watch traffic. What's next? We received notice to proceed in late September, which means we can start constructing, and again, you should see dirt moving around the end of October. We did have our groundbreaking ceremony at Coppers Branch Park on October 3rd. This is a picture of our 4 commissioners in Denton County turning the dirt. I'm going to go through the project a little bit. I'll go from north and then I'll hit south because I know that that area is a little bit more important to you. The north segment of the project goes from US 380 to FM 121 or the Swisher-Tuberville area. In this particular part of the project, I don't know if you can see my little pointer there. I don't think you can. But if you'll notice, we have 2 lanes of traffic in each direction. We'll be adding a general purpose lane, which will give us 3 lanes of traffic in each direction. There are not any managed lanes in this particular section of the project. At the top part, you'll see there's 2 lanes in each direction, and the bottom part is what the configuration will look like once we complete construction. For the north segment, we'll be doing lots of new bridges. With this project, we touch about 75 bridges. Either we are rehabbing, reconstructing, or expanding bridges. Up north, you'll see new bridges at North Texas Boulevard, Corinth Parkway, and Post Oak. Once we complete construction, Corinth will flow under I-35. We're going to be rehabbing and expanding the bridges at Mayhill, Loop 288, US 77, McCormick, and Bonnie Bray. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be adding additional general purpose lane and making ramp and drainage improvements. Early work includes work at Bonnie Bray, as well as drainage and culvert work near US 77 in Pennsylvania. Moving towards the middle section, this is the biggest section of the project. It goes from FM 2181 to Tuberville Road, FM 2181 Tuberville Road to the President George Bush Turnpike. Here, now in this particular section, and this is the section that goes from State Highway 121 or the Sam Rayburn Tollway down to Tuberville Swisher Road. Here, you'll see at the top where we have 3 lanes of traffic in each direction. We'll be going to 4 lanes of traffic in each direction. And in the middle, you'll see the managed lanes. Okay. And here, again, additional general purpose lanes, bridge improvements. We'll also be building a new southbound bridge across Lake Louisville, which I think is the most exciting thing. And of course, adding access to the north side of the I-35 Sam Rayburn Tollway interchange. Here's a cross-section of the Lake Louisville Bridge. At the top is where we are now. When we get finished, we'll have 14 lanes across this bridge. There'll be 4 main lanes, that means 4 northbound and 4 southbound lanes. You'll have 2 lanes of frontage roads on each side, 2 northbound, 2 southbound, and then plus you'll have the managed lanes down the middle of the project. In addition to all of that, we will also have a shared path, which is for pedestrians and cyclists to get across the bridge safely. In addition to the work at the bridge, we've got improvements at Copperas Branch Park, a new trail system, new parking lots. Many of you may have known that we closed the park down in September so that we can do construction, start on the bridge, stage equipment. We'll open that back up after we finish construction, but it'll be a new and improved park. You'll really enjoy it. And again, we've got new bridges at Garden Ridge Boulevard and Fox Avenue. Garden Ridge is scheduled to begin work in spring of 2014, and then we're scheduled to begin work on Fox Avenue in late summer of 2014. Both of these will be brand new bridges. They'll have added capacity for traffic in that area. Here is a rendering of Garden Ridge. If you look over to the right, you have the DCTA station. You can see the managed lanes and the general purpose lanes, and then the lake further at the top. One thing that we love to hear when we go out, everybody talks about the FM 407 bridge. Oh, I've been waiting for 8 years. I've lived here for 8 years. I've lived here for 30 years. I'm waiting on you to fix this bridge. Well, we're finally going to fix this bridge. Yes, we're going to take the orange barricades off and fix whatever's been going on for the last 10 years. When we start work in the next few weeks, you'll see our crews on the southbound frontage road along the side clearing and grubbing that area. And we expect to close the bridge in summer of 2015. Once we finish with FM 407, it will go under I-35 as well. And then I mentioned additional access from the north side of the I-35 Sam Rayburn exchange. Right now, it's pretty easy to get around in that area if you're on the south side. But when we finish, we'll have new direct connector ramps on the north side. The south segment, the segment that you've all come here to hear about, goes from President George Bush Turnpike to I-635. Here, you'll see we maintain our 3 lanes of traffic in each direction. we expand the HOV lanes to have the managed lanes. They will be barrier protected, so if you look at the bottom part of the slide, you'll see little barriers on the left and the right side. The managed lanes are underlined in red. In late November, we expect to close the HOV lanes, and we'll be closing those between Whitlock and 635. So be prepared for that if you want to carpool or take DART or take DCTA. We'll also begin our bridge widenings at Whitlock, Crosby, Valwood, and Valley View. Now you'll see a little bit more work at Whitlock. You'll see a little bit more of that because we're actually replacing the bridge deck there. New interchanges at Dickerson Parkway and Beltline Road. Dickerson will be extended to the west. It will fly over the DART station and I-35 and tie into the PGBT. We'll also be adding access to north and southbound I-35 from Dickerson Parkway. Beltline Road, which is an interchange that everybody seems to be excited about. We're going to elevate that to the current height of I-35. We'll be elevating I-35 to about 25 feet above that. You'll see elevated frontage roads. And we should start the Beltline road work in December. And again, every time we do all these changes, we have to improve the drainage system and relocate utilities. Now, this new work that I mentioned earlier, new connections with I-635, we'll be having direct connector ramps that will connect the managed lanes from 635 to the new managed lanes of I-35. We'll also have a south I-35 managed lane to eastbound I-635 managed lane, extend the southbound I-35 managed lanes to Loop 12, Story Lane, and Northwest Highway, and then westbound I-635 to northbound I-35 managed lanes, and northbound I-35 managed lanes begin at Loop 12, Story Lane, and Northwest Highway. Don't worry, we'll put this on the website, so you'll be able to keep up with all of that. But that's something new we recently received that pushed our time out a little bit more, and that pushed our mileage out about a couple more miles as far as the project. Here's another image of the Beltline Road interchange. If you'll see at the top of the screen, you have Beltline Road. Over to the right, you have the frontage road, and kind of in between those, you'll see I-35. Here's another cross-section that's a little bit easier to see. To the left, you have I-35, and then you have the frontage road, and the east-west roadway is going to be Beltline Road. Okay. Our outreach and communications plan, we do have a website, which is 35express.org. We have an e-newsletter. We sent our first issue out on last Wednesday. Right now, that will come out every other week. So if you have not signed up for that, if you sign in today, we'll get you on that list. We'll also have text alerts, so if you left your phone number with us, we'll get you signed up for that. Our Facebook page, if you were to go to www.facebook.com/I35Express, that's our page, and then Twitter is just 35Express. We do have a hotline for those of you who are not in cyberspace. We answer that from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And then, of course, our project email address is info@35express.org. Here's our home pages on the left and our first issue of the newsletter on the right. It's called the 35 Express Exchange. Here you'll be able to learn more about the project, get information on road and lane closures and upcoming construction. We also have formed an external communications task force. As I mentioned earlier, we can't do it alone. We have to partner with the cities and the counties and the transportation agencies along the corridor. So this group meets monthly. We talk about what's coming up and the best way to communicate that information out to the public. We will also, of course, we're in our week to do our community meetings. We'll have community meetings about twice a year to give you an update on progress. And then finally, we are forming business owner task force meetings. These meetings will be held quarterly. There'll be one for each section, one for the middle, one for the north, and one for the south. So if you signed up tonight and you're a business owner, just go back out and put a check by your name so that we can make sure that you get on that list. Our goal is to make things as easy as possible for customers and business owners to still get around. If we are impacting a business with our construction, we'll make sure that we have a link to that business as well as a way for customers to be able to access that particular business. We do have a public information office. We are located in Carrollton at 2420 South Stemmons Freeway, right next door to the Halloween store. So after you buy your costume, come and see us. Heather keeps plenty of candy on her desk, so it'll be a one-stop shop for you. But there we have boards. We'll eventually have plan sheets. In our animation, we do have the big rollout schematics so that you can be able to look at those and ask questions about the project. This office, again, is open from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then Saturdays by appointment. Of course, with a project this large, we'll have several subcontractor and employment opportunities. We are partnering with the workforce boards of both Dallas and Denton counties. And then we also have DBE and subcontractor opportunities. So if you'll just email us at opportunities@AGL Constructors, or give us a call at 214-483-7500. We can get you plugged in, so when we send notification out, you can receive those opportunities. And in closing, again, if you need more information, just visit our website. This is my direct line as well as my email address. And then Alex, my partner in crime here, this is his information. Our goal is just to be as accessible as we can to you. So if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to always call or email us.